good, right? And it goes like this. It sure feels good to know you. No matter what I give, feels like I will always owe you. I'm forever indebted. I never let it slip by. For the rest of my life, never forget it. You brought me out of the dark when I couldn't see light. You remind me of my truth, that I am the one that the light flows through. And my source, of course, is you. Yeah, that's why I'ma show you the world. I love how you make me feel like I'm your favorite girl. There's some others out there, but they not like me. I love how you let me write me. And the way you watch me grow from the beginning. And you stay by my side, so committed. So many have come and gone, and I'll admit it, it hurts. But when I'm with you, I forget it, my music. Yeah. It's a love song. Right? Hey, it feel good, right? Hey, it feel good, right? And it goes like.
You gotta shake that.
Take a tambourine, go and get yourself a whistle. Okay. Take a tambourine, go and get yourself a whistle. Okay. Take a tambourine, go and get yourself a whistle. Take a tambourine, go and take a tambourine, go. I go by the name of Swift Beast the Monster. We gonna get this party started. Don't serve fast. Let's go.
Hey, welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a Woman Wednesday. Shouts out to all of the Stewies, man. The chat room already changed their profile pics to beautiful women. Special shouts out to my man Loose Neck Sai. Mammary glands. Yes, sir. Wow. Hey, make sure if you change your profile pics, man, that you keep it classy. Don't show necessarily all of the assy. Please. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. The Atlanta Hawks have traded center Dwight Howard to the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte is sending Miles Plumlee, Marco Bellinelli, and the 41st pick in Thursday's NBA draft to Atlanta for Howard and the 31st pick. Here's a quote. It is extremely important for our organization that we maintain our flexibility, and this trade helps us achieve that critical goal, Hawks general manager Travis Schlenk said in a statement released by the team. We appreciate the contributions that Dwight made on the court and in the greater Atlanta community this past season. Howard signed a 3-year, $70.5 million deal with his hometown Hawks in July, but had a very disappointing homecoming. In my opinion, it is very disappointing. He averages with the Hawks. He had 13.5 points and 12.7 rebounds per game. Close pretty much to what he's done over the last couple of seasons with Houston in the 2015-16 season. Still, he finished the season unhappy, but that's another thing. His attitude is just real shitty. Finished the season unhappy about his diminished role in the playoffs. If you don't know, if you don't pay attention to the Atlanta Hawks, in several games in the postseason, man, he sat the bench. He sat on the fourth quarter in 2 of the 6 playoff games during the Hawks' first-round loss to the Washington Wizards. And Houston, this guy, man, was listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing about it, man. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I know a lot of you will be like, man, I mean, that's solid points for a big man in the NBA. You got to remember, Travis Schlenk is coming from the Golden State Warriors, which they've had, obviously, tremendous success over the last 3 years. They've been to 3 NBA Finals. They've won 2. They probably should have won 3. And so he's going to try to remold his team in that image. I don't know if he'll be able to find Steph Curry out of the draft somewhere from a little small school like Davidson or whatever. But Dwight Howard just doesn't fit for what they want to do here. And then you have the whole aspect of him not being able to hit free throws. You can't play him in the fourth quarter when the games are close. And they're paying him $23.5 million. It's as simple as that. Now, he may go to Charlotte. You listen to the Doug Stewart Show. This is just my opinion. He may go to Charlotte and revitalize his career. But here's the thing about it. We've said that for the last 3, 4, 5 years about Dwight Howard. You know, ever since he left, Orlando, or really when he left the Lakers. You know, people are like, oh, well, he had a tough year with the Lakers. He had these issues with his back, so he goes to the Houston Rockets. Same thing. same exact production, the same exact thing, and what you saw out of him in L.A. is exactly what you saw out of him in Houston. Well, he's coming home to Atlanta. Maybe he can turn things around. Maybe the Hawks can catch lightning in the bottom. He's playing in front of his hometown, his friends, his family, whatever. Maybe he'll get it back. He didn't. And so now he's going to Charlotte, and you're officially a journeyman when you play for 3 different teams in 3 years in the NBA, and that's what Dwight Howard is now. Now, I'm not saying this dude is the same player that he was when he was in Orlando. I'm not saying he's the same player that was drafted number 1 in the draft when he came out and all these high expectations. This dude is 6'11", can run the floor like a guard, just looks like freaking Tarzan, but he plays a little bit like Jane. That's the problem. And so we'll see what happens. He's gone. The big thing, if you're a Hawks fan, is you weren't going to win with Dwight Howard. So tear it down. Tear it down. They are tearing it down. They're going to start them from scratch. You got a couple of nice pieces to kind of work around. I absolutely love Dennis, what's his name? And I'm drawing a blank right now. The Schroeder kid. You absolutely can build around Dennis Schroeder. I love that kid's game. Obviously, I've talked about him a lot. Believe that he's, kind of like a little bit reminds me of Tony Parker. You got the Hardaway kid. You got the Prince kid that you just drafted last year that you got great production out of. It's kind of like, up in the air what's going to happen with Paul Millsap and being able to re-sign him, or even if they want to re-sign this guy. So, you got some things, but you're going to have to start from scratch. The Hawks have been to the playoffs. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And I don't have the number in front of me. The Hawks have been to the playoffs, I think, more or consecutively more than any other team in the NBA over like the last decade. But it's never an expectation that they're going to do anything outside of getting out of the first round. Maybe they'll get out of the first round, but they're not going to get out of the second round. They're not going to vie for an NBA championship. They're not even going to vie for the East, presently the way that it stands with LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So why not? This Schlink guy comes in. He wants to put his mark on this team, and paying Dwight Howard, that's lost not 1, not 2, but maybe 15 steps, $24 million? That's not a good look. That's not a good look. That's not a good look, man. So I absolutely am thrilled about this move. I'm shocked that he was able to do it, because if I'm the Charlotte Hornets or any team in the NBA for that matter, I don't want to pay Dwight Howard $24 million. Like, do they believe what they saw this year out of Dwight Howard? Do they believe what they got out of him in Houston? Do they believe what they got out of him in Lakers in Los Angeles was kind of like an aberration? No, that's who he is now. And then the whole heart thing comes into play. And I know he's a pretty-looking little piece or whatever. If you're talking about NBA players, it's great to have Dwight Howard on the team. And I even said the same thing. I thought it was a good thing that the Hawks brought in Dwight Howard last year. I thought that he needed them, and I thought that the organization and the city needed him. Saying and being that Dwight had really struggled over the last couple of years. He's coming home. Maybe he can refresh, get a new start, kind of find his game a little bit, man, work with some things in the post, which ain't going to happen at this point. He is who he is. You're not going to be able to teach this old dog new tricks. And it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. I don't know why Charlotte believes. And you know what? He sells tickets. I think he's still one of the bigger names in the NBA. For some of the same reasons why I thought it was a good idea that the Hawks brought him in is because this city a lot of times is materialistic, and we like big names and we like big stars in this city. So Dwight Howard. And so they're thinking that they're going to get some production at the ticket office or whatever. Is it really worth $25 million? I don't know. Charlotte thinks it is. I absolutely think that this was a great move. Here's another quote. It was very difficult. I want to play, Howard said after the season. I want to be on the floor. I want to make an impact. You can't do it on the bench. Well, there's a reason why they put you on the bench, folk. They didn't put you on the bench because they just don't like you. Coach Bud didn't put you, Coach Budenholzer didn't put you on the bench because he felt like it, or he didn't have anything personal against you. This is the same thing that he's done for the last couple of years. Coach Bud had to put him on the bench because that was the best thing for the team. Simple as that. This thing ain't personal. Charlotte point guard Kemba Walker has developed into an all-star. Nicholas Batum kind of struggled last year, being handed that big $100+ million contract, the largest ever to a Hornets player. Howard is an 8-time all-star and 3-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, and he'll be playing, once again, as I said earlier, for his third team in the last 3 years. Now, I know there's a lot of people, once again, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I know there's a lot of people that feel totally different about this. I was riding last night. I had a meeting last night, and I was riding, listening to the local sports talk station, and people were calling up there pissed off. Why did you give away this piece? He had great production last year in relative terms if you look at the other centers in the NBA. So I'm not saying that you should feel the same way that I do, but if you feel like this was a bad move for the Atlanta Hawks, okay, if you disagree with them letting Dwight Howard go or making a deal for Dwight Howard, why? Let me hear your thoughts, man. Let me hear your thoughts. I think it's genius, and I'm actually shocked. The bigger thing about this story is I'm shocked that somebody took him off your hands. You got somebody to take Dwight Howard off your hands and finish out paying 2 years and $50 million? Oh, my gosh, if Don King were here, he'd say only in America. Only in America. You basically get a do-over. Yeah, you spent a lot of money last year, and there were some good games, and we made it to the playoffs again. But you get a do-over. $50 million to Dwight Howard? Chow, please. Nah, I don't buy it. And they get a couple of, interesting little pieces. I think the Bellinelli pick is perfect for what Coach Budenholzer does. Coach Bud came from, Greg Popovich of San Antonio, where they have this influence of international players on that team historically over the last decade. Free-flowing, spacing the floor and all of that. He's a little bit older, but, he's all right. I'm not saying that he's going to make the Hawks a contender this year. The Bellinelli pick is okay. Plumlee is young. He can give you solid minutes, So, you get a little something. You get pieces to make other deals with as well. I absolutely love the deal. When we get back from the break, but the big news from last night is D'Angelo Russell on the move, out as an L.A. Laker. We'll talk about that up next. Don't go away.
Yeah, the criers when they busted. Save your teardrops, it ain't nothing, you ain't real. You came for the wrong one, it was foolish. You too smart to be so stupid. Now I'm about to give you something you can feel. Thought that it was done, thought it was swept under the rug, thought it was love. But it's still here, what up, what's the deal? See, never crossing artists, we the hardest, flow heartless, and we put it all on blast in ways that others can't steal. What's real? A queen that be down for whatever, what's not. Clown ninjas who think they so clever, what's real? A king that'll rap for his queen, what it ain't is a broad that always gotta be seen. What I mean is, if you got something real, better act right. Build an empire, get your stats right. Got my facts right. Now the truth got you living in fear. I thought